I love that Joe Rogan's favorite show is Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that the sweetest when every now and then he's like, have you seen this show? He's like, here's my new bow and my medieval armor. Have you seen the show's Kimmy Schmidt? It is so good. You're like, what the fuck is your life? Like, it's so wild to me. He just goes surrounded like woolly mammoth bones.
Yeah.
And he's just like, have you seen Amelie in Paris?
Yeah.
Like, what? I love the shows that he watches. It's so endearing.
He's legit with that bow. I'm not gonna lie. Where I was doing the episode, and then he has like a shooting range in the studio, not in the studio, but in the warehouse that he has. And he got the bow and arrow. Mm-hmm. He brought one arrow, and he walked to the back of the thing, and it's probably like, I don't know, 150 feet away, and there's a fake elk there. And the fake elk has a box on it that's that big, that's black. And he just adjusts some shit on the arrow, puts it up.
That was his black square for Black Lives Matter?
Yes. Yes.
I knew it.
Yes. And he
doesn't do performative activism.
Exactly.
He does it in private when it counts.
That's exactly. Did you put up the black square?
I'm sure I did. Like, I'm sure I would do some basic shit like that. Like, I probably put it up knowing I was gonna get shit and then archived it. I bet I did some basic.
Can we check to see if you black square?
No, please don't.
Yes.
No, because I remember I was getting a bunch of shit for it. I think I was talking to Donnell. It was like Donnell and like a couple people, and they're like, just put it up. Like, that's the right thing to do.
I think Donnell was he not about putting it up or something?
He was like, white people should put it up. We shouldn't have to. At least at the time. I'm sure every day it probably changed. Like, 1 minute it was probably the right thing to do, and then it was corny, and then it was disrespectful, and then it was like, why didn't you put it up? You know, whatever.
Yeah.
I think a couple people who
I'm going back.
This
You
is
keep going. Okay, I'm just doing
embarrassing.
research. That's
Okay,
all. That's
all right.
all. Good feed, though. I'll be honest. This is fun.
Good feed. Feed.
Thank you.
Okay.
Feed.
It's a feed.
Feed.
Yeah.
But so what happened? Did he get he shot it right in the...
Yeah. And I was like, oh, wow, this is legit. This is legit.
I do worry sometimes that Joe is just going to be like, fuck this, and just is going to like make knives. You know what I mean?
He should.
Can't you see him just like really... No.
He loves it too much.
Okay, good. Because I do feel like he might get into pottery or something.
No, like he might if that's the thing I realized. Like he's the type of guy that like, and we talked about this a little bit on the pod, but like he gets incredibly passionate about things and becomes successful about them. Sometimes they're business, sometimes they're just pleasure. But whatever it is, if it's hunting, it's I need to hunt the most extreme thing, and I'm going to be the best at a bow. I'm not like, he figures the fucking thing out.
But don't you think we're all like comedians are hunters by nature?
Well, okay, go on that.
You're like, as you're moving through, you're like, you got this premise and you're trying to get it, and you're like, I feel like we're kind of hunters in that way. Hunter for the joke. Like, we are, I know this is a metaphor I'm stretching, but it's...
That's the gayest way to describe hunting.
Thank you. Thank you for
No, there's no stakes. A joke won't kill me in my sleep. You know what I mean? A premise has never strangled me.
No, but I'm saying the way we approach it. You're like, it's kind of fine. I only have 5 specials. What the fuck would I know?
You know, we're like paleontologists. We're digging.
You know what
Something
I mean?
pussy.
You know the way you feel, because to me, the way he gets obsessed with getting this fucking elk that he could just go get at the grocery store in 20 minutes, like the way we are with a premise when you can't fucking drop it.
We love comedy, and I think that's something we really care about.
Yeah.
I think there are people who have passions. We were talking about this on the podcast, but I think it's an interesting conversation. It's like, when you're passionate about something, it doesn't even really matter how much it costs, right? If you aren't passionate about something and you just have a hobby that makes you look cool, then there's resentment.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're like...
Joe has a hobby that makes him look dorky.
And because he loves it.
I know.
And then,
I might do that fanny pack. You're Joe Rogan. How do you look dorky right now?
So we were talking about Jay Leno, who's like, I think the perfect example. It's like he probably has tens of millions of dollars worth of cars. He has 11 garages.
I've been.
And you've been, okay. Nobody goes, oh, that's a waste of money. Nobody says like, oh God, look at this guy. There's starving kids in Africa. Because he's so passionate about every single one of the cars. He knows every single nut and bolt and everything.
They're not all Ferraris. Some of them it's like
expensive cars.
Exactly.
But it would also
no,
be,
like the
it'll be
Saudi Prince cars. They're not
and it'll
those
be
shits.
like a
Yeah.
Mazda Miata, and you're like, what's so great about this?
Oh, this
And
was the only one that was made, blah,
it's
blah,
the
blah.
first one off the
Yes.
fucking thing.
So I think that we recognize that, and I think that like when you see someone who's passionate about something, even if that passion is expensive, you go, "Oh man, this person really loves that thing."
Yes.
I'm okay with it.
Yes.
I think that I think we resent money when somebody's really just trying to impress us with the money. So we're like, "Well, you want to impress me? Give me money."